بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين إن يكن غنيا أو فقيرا فالله أولى بهما فلا تتبعوا الهوى أن تعدلوا وإن تلووا أو تعرضوا فإن الله كان بما تعملون خبيرا. O believers, stand firm for justice as witnesses for Allah, even if it is against yourselves, your parents, or close relatives. Be they rich or poor, Allah is best to ensure their interests. So do not let your desires cause you to deviate from justice. If you distort the testimony or refuse to give it, then know that Allah is certainly all aware of what you do. It's another World Cup, but unlike any before. Hosted in Qatar, it's been surrounded by controversy since they were first declared its hosts. Human rights abuses, alcohol bans, and LGBT laws have been just some of the issues raised against the country, leading both the BBC and ITV to boycott the opening ceremony. As Muslims, it's easy to feel under attack. Why so much attention on Qatar compared to other countries? Haven't other countries done far worse, which has been ignored? Isn't this blatant hypocrisy? Whilst these may be valid objections, they are not the way we should respond as Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demanded a higher standard than a moral tit for tat. He said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين بالقسط شهداء لله ولو على أنفسكم أو الوالدين والأقربين. O believers, stand firm for justice as witnesses for Allah, even if it is against yourselves, your parents, or close relatives. As Muslims, we should expect the highest moral standing of ourselves, our families, and our communities. Wrong is wrong, regardless of who has done it, and we should not devolve to blindly supporting issues based on the identity of those behind it. Witnessing much of the discussion around the World Cup, geopolitics, or even local imam wars, many Muslims have become tribal in their support or condemnation of any issue. Rather than having the ability to judge a matter based on its merits, we instinctively support or deny an issue based on the people behind it. This is something directly out of the playbook of the tribal Arabs in the time of Jahiliyyah, or ignorance, before the Prophet ﷺ's advent, famous for saying, "Unsur akhaka zaliman aw mazluman." Help your brother whether he is an oppressor or oppressed. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ used the same phrase but with a twist. When quizzed by his companions on how one could support his brother who is an oppressor, he replied, تحجزه أو تمنعه من الظلم فإن ذلك نصره. By restraining them or preventing them from oppression, that is aiding them. What happened in Qatar in human rights abuses is inexcusable, and we should not shy away from calling out our brothers for that. To have such a global display of Islam on the biggest stage tainted by such history is shameful, particularly knowing many of the victims would have been our own ancestral countrymen back home. We can draw a direct line between the World Cup stadiums and the deaths of migrants, and there is no denying that this spectacle has been tainted by it. No amount of PR should cover over this truth. We should support the Qataris not by deflecting these issues, but by preventing them from ever happening again. Oh, And as for the other issues around alcohol and LGBT, I'll leave that for another podcast. For now, I'll just say this. The British government themselves labelled a tax on alcohol a sin tax. I'll leave it there.